Okay, we're gonna try out the new trailer today. Just kind of a trial run. I want to see how it does. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna kick these ramps down real quick over here on the trailer. We'll kick them down. We're gonna load the 540B grapple up, and we're just gonna go down the road with it, just a little short drive. I just want to see how it pulls behind the truck. I want to know if it pulls better on the Pintle hitch or if it pulls better on the Gooseneck. And I've got a lot of experience pulling the Gooseneck, but this will be the trial run of me ever using a Pintle hitch trailer. I've pulled one with a bigger truck before, but never with my smaller truck here. So I've got several friends who use these Pintle hitches to pull their backhoes with behind the same setup I got, the Power Stroke 6.7 liter diesel. Now my diesel truck, it's a 2011 model, but it has been tuned. We have done a delete to it, and I'm running the smallest possible tune I can run. I'm running a 40 over tune. We're running a 4-inch straight pipe and a cold air intake. And that's all from Sinister Diesel in California. But we're gonna see how it pulls. I mean, the truck's got all kinds of power. I mean, they are these 6.7 Power Strokes. I think they're the best Power Stroke diesel Ford's ever made. I was a big fan of the 7.3. I had a 7.3 before I had this truck. My dad had the 6 liter, which we were not big fans of at all. We didn't even try out the 6.4. I had a cousin that had a 6.4. That was a running truck. It ran really well. It ran really well, I'm sorry. At the time I had a Ford Mustang, and I'm not so sure he couldn't beat me out of the hole with his dually Power Stroke. And I had a GT Mustang. So back to this. I'm gonna load this skidder up. So we're gonna start all this. Here we go. Size difference. That little monster there, it gets moved on a detach. Let's see if we can get this thing loaded up. Down, see where we're at here. Lower the grapple. Take that bad boy a little bit. Okay, we are loaded up. I think we're about centered for the most part. I climb down off this monster. Climb down and not fall down. Yeah, we look pretty centered up on there. And these machines, that's why we like these little 540s. They're not heavy skidders. They're light, they're easy to move. Man, you can get in and out of places real well. Well, so much for being centered. I loaded a little heavy to the left side a few inches, but for what we're wanting to do, it'll be all right on this little trial run here. We're not going very far. I just kind of want to get a feel for it. So let's see if we can get the ramps thrown up and boom down, and away we go. Okay, we're loaded up, we're chained down. Let's like I said, we're just gonna go down the road a little bit. I just want to see how it pulls, see how it does, see if I like it, see what I think the pros and cons over my 28-foot gooseneck are. Now my 28-foot gooseneck is an easy haul. I believe we've got 24 foot of deck and 4 foot of dove. I believe that's the correct dimensions. It's rated for 20,000 pounds. I believe this trailer here, this Blue Diamond, is also 20,000. So we come under the we come under the load limit by a ways here. Now this little 540B grapple is the heavier of the 3 540Bs we got, because our other two are cable machines. So, and even then, it's not a big noticeable difference in weight. But The truck is squatting a little bit, I can tell right now, so let's go down the road and see how it performs. Okay, so far we're just going up the driveway here. Man, it's pulling pretty good. You really can't even tell there's much back there right now. I'm checking the rear view, just kind of watching everything. Getting ready to pull out on the highway, but brakes are all working. Everything's, turn signals are hooked up. I like to check everything before we do anything, and that's with any trailer I have. You always want to check and make sure your brakes are working properly. Make sure all your turn signals, brake signals, marker lights are working. So let's get out here on the road and see what happens. Well, we're accelerating fine through the gears. Like I said, this is a 6.7 power stroke with a 6-speed automatic transmission. Just like I said, taking it easy. We're not out here flogging it or anything, but it's shifting through the gears just fine. And I'm not in tow haul mode. We're just running in standard settings. We're running down the road right now about 45 miles an hour. Just kind of going up a little hill here. We're here by my log yard here in Stockton, so we're just kind of checking to see how it goes through the gears and everything, how it pulls with this trailer, trying to see what the noticeable differences are. And right now, I mean, I really can't, like I said, other than I can see when the trailer's loaded, it squats the rear end of the truck a little more, but so far the truck seems to be handling the load just fine. So we'll go down the road a little more, see what we think about it. Okay, we're running down the road about between 55 and 60 mile an hour right now, a little straight stretch. The only thing we can tell right now, it's a little rougher, the ride is, but it's not, that's the only noticeable difference I can tell right now. It's a little rougher. We're feeling a few more of the bumps in the road, but other than that, truck's handling it fine. I'm testing the brakes with these Fords have the built-in brake controllers. Brakes are working fine. Everything's working fine going down the road. It seems like it's going to be a pretty good match, especially when we step into this F550. The 550 is going to be a little heavier truck, compared to the 350. We're going to have the heavier rear ends, the bigger brakes, bigger wheels and tires, lower gear ratio. So, but yeah, I mean, it's performing just fine right now. We're going up a pretty good hill right now. Of course, like I said, my truck is tuned. We've got a 40 over tune with a delete on it. It's handling everything fine right now. We're gonna slow down right now, get ready to come up to a stop sign. Braking's just fine. We're not locking up the brakes or mashing on them. We're just taking it easy. We've got the gain turned up to 7.5 on the trailer, so I feel that's a pretty good place for the gain. I like it around 7.5 or 8 when I'm loaded. Getting ready to pull out on a busier road here it's just a 2-lane 32 highway. And here we go. Pulling just fine, going through the gears just fine. Take her up to 50. We are going downhill, so we're not going to get too carried away, but I'm liking what we're doing so far, guys. It'd be a toss-up. I don't know what would be better, the Gooseneck or the Pintle hitch right now. We'll get back home. We'll get the overall assessment for it. We're going to go up here and turn around and go back home, and we'll do some side-by-side comparisons. Okay, guys, we got the skidder unloaded here off the trailer. And overall, I think the Pintle hitch does really well. I like the way it pulls down the road. The only thing I can really tell, it's a little rougher riding. I like how it tracks and follows behind the truck. There's not a lot of oversteer, understeer like with the Gooseneck. I like how it's got a lower deck. It's got kind of a lower profile. It kind of lowers the center of gravity of the load. I like that as well. It's not near as top heavy. I like how it looks. I like how it looks behind the truck. I think it looks better going down the road than on a Gooseneck. That's just personal preference, personal thought. But the things I like about the Gooseneck, it's not near as rough riding. The Gooseneck doesn't seem to squat the rear of the truck, which with my truck, I've got a longer wheelbase truck, so it kind of, even with the Pintle hitch squatting the load, or excuse me, the Pintle hitch squatting the truck, it still seems to even out really well. So I guess you could say it'd really be 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. I think it's all going to be up to personal preference, whatever you prefer. Originally, I thought if I liked the Pintle hitch, I would sell the Gooseneck, and if I didn't like the Pintle hitch, I'd just resell it, because I already had a friend that was offering to buy it from me. So I knew I wasn't going to be out any money if I didn't like it. It's kind of, some of these little ideas and projects I get can be expensive, but it all comes down to just trying to improve your operations and try to make things run more smoother and efficient. And that's what I try to do. I will probably keep the Pintle hitch and the Gooseneck both. I'll probably just keep them, each trailer, because we've got the 3 skidders we're going to pull. So it'd be nice to have 2 trailers, because you never know. It's always nice to have a backup. So I'll just keep both trailers for now, and maybe down the road I'll find something more about the Pintle hitch I don't like. But as of today, everything seemed fine. The truck accelerated fine, it stopped fine, and like anything, you know, there's guys that are saying, well, that's ridiculous pulling something like that. Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the truck can handle it. You can get licensed to scale the load. If you've got a Class A or B, you know, Class A CDL, because you're pulling a trailer, you're licensed properly. Like anything, don't ever get in a hurry. Make sure your brakes work. Do a pre-trip inspection. That's just good practices right there. Before I hook up to a trailer, I like to make sure all my brakes are working, my turn signals, my marker lights, my brake lights. Guys, you always need to do that. And as long as your brakes are good on the truck and trailer and you don't get in a big hurry, and legally you can bridge the load and haul it, there's no problem with it. And I've had guys say, well, you couldn't get away with that here in this state. Sorry for you for living in that state, I guess. That's like I said, sorry for you. But these skidders aren't that heavy. These skidders weigh less than 20,000 pounds, which is why we like them. I've got a lot of friends that they're in the construction business, running the same setup I have. They're running 4-door trucks, but they've got the 6.7 liter Power Stroke. They're pulling the Pintle hitch trailer, pulling backhoes that weigh close to the same weight as these skidders. And they get along fine with them, so, and that's kind of where I got the idea that I wanted to try it. And I like it, I really do. I like the setup. So we're going to stick with it for now. We'll probably move a skidder tomorrow, one of the cable skidders, try it out. And like I said, it's nice to have options. So we're going to keep the Gooseneck and the Pintle hitch both, so each of them will have their place. Now, going back to another comment I received yesterday, the gentleman said I need to look into getting a service truck like Logger Wade's. And the thing about that is, we don't need a truck like that. I've got, with my truck, I've got everything I need to do what we do. Between a 3-phase air compressor, welder generator, torches, onboard fuel tank, more storage for tools and chainsaws than we even need, we can tackle whatever we need to do for our small operation. I'm not running anything near as big as Wade. I never will. I have no desire to, because it wouldn't work in this part of Missouri. All we do is selective harvesting. We mainly cut prime timber, which is why we run the smaller skidders. And I like the older B&D model deers because they're cheap to work on, they're easy to move, and they're extremely fuel efficient. So that's why we run those. But, and the same as, I mean, it's a lot of those bigger operations wouldn't work for what we're doing. It wouldn't be feasible. So logging's different all over the country, guys, and that's, when I went out and seen Wade's operation a few weeks ago, it was, don't get me wrong, I was like a kid in a candy store. I was extremely impressed. And it's awesome, but you've got to find what works for you in your operation, because logging's different and everybody does things differently. So that's what it comes down to. But we're going to jump off here, try to get this video pieced together. But guys, thanks a lot for following our YouTube channel. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share the videos, comment. If you got any questions, comment, email, call, whatever. I'll try to get back to you. Follow us on Facebook, Turner Logging LLC, Instagram at Turner Logging LLC, and find a link to our YouTube channel, along with Logger Wade's and Tim O'Brien's at timbertracker.net. And you can download that free app, Timber Tracker. We've always got things. We're always working on stuff with it too, so check that out. But we're gonna get off here. I'm just gonna leave the old Pintle hitch hooked up because we're gonna roll out tomorrow, go to our Lexington, Missouri job and move that skidder, get it to the next job. But guys, thanks again. Thanks so much for following. It means the world. It means a lot. Keep commenting. I'll try to keep commenting back. I guess that's it. So we're gonna get off here. But guys, thanks a lot. We'll catch you next time. See ya.